Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and today we're going to have a look at Hurricane Laura, which is officially a Cat 1 hurricane now. Now we did sort of hype up Marco a bit, but nothing really happened with that, and it's sort of disintegrated into a post-tropical depression. Not really making landfall as it experienced significant wind shear, and that could benefit Laura's development as it's probably used up less of the energy in the oceans and the heat. So it could allow Laura to strengthen. Laura is forecasted, as of right now, it's a Cat 1 hurricane, but it's forecasted to get to 110 miles an hour, 115, somewhere around that at the moment, which is Cat 3, which is a major hurricane. We'll briefly have a look to see if there's any other disturbances. Nothing in the Central Pacific. Eastern Pacific, we've got quite a few small disturbances that have sort of all been here for the last couple of days, but none have developed as of yet. But they should, or they probably will over the next few days. We'll see what happens to those. In the Atlantic, it's just really Laura and then post-tropical storm Marco. But we do have a tropical wave. I've seen this coming off Africa's very, very large tropical wave. It's got a lot of deep convection in it. And I saw someone pointing out on Twitter earlier that it already looks like it's having some circulation within it. So who knows what's going to happen with that? That will probably get highlighted on here once it passes over ocean, and they can get some forecasting on it. But we'll focus in on Laura. It's moving west-northwest, 16 miles per hour, heading up towards the Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi coast, pretty much where Marco is right now. And we'll go into it right now, and if we open up the warning cone, you can see right now it is got a small area of hurricane winds, a large area of tropical storm winds. It's a hurricane and it will move towards the coast as a major hurricane and strengthening Wednesday night Central Time before downgrading to a hurricane soon after landfall, downgrading to a Cat 1, Cat 2 hurricane before a tropical storm as it moves inland towards sort of Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, that Arkansas, I think, under there, before it becomes a tropical depression. However, it does look like at the moment it's going to re-strengthen to a tropical storm, so it's interesting what's going to be happening there. It may get fueled up by the jet stream or something to tropical storm strength again, so we have to keep an eye on what happens with that, because that could be, although it wouldn't be a hurricane, it would provide still quite significant impacts with reasonably strong winds and heavy rain to some dense areas with New York, Washington, Boston, sort of in this sort of zone. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But currently we've got tropical storm warnings in force for most of the coast, with a hurricane warning for the Louisiana-Texas border, that sort of coastal area there. If we have a look at wind speed probabilities, we can currently see we've got a near 100% chance of tropical storm winds in this area, and quite a high chance for widespread tropical storm winds. And again, that highlight where there could be more tropical storm winds as it re-strengthens as it comes off the coast. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So we might be keeping updates on this going for the next few days at least. If we have a look at arrival time, actually go back to wind speed, because we'll have a look at the hurricane force. So as you can see right now, it's got a 78% chance of hurricane force winds on this slither, and I expect over the next day or two that to be extended as the computer model is pinpoint where landfall is going to be made. It's pretty certain that we're going to be getting strong hurricane force winds. Interesting, there's even a small chance of hurricane force winds as it moves off the coast again there. That'll be a very exceptional storm if it's a major hurricane, downgrades to a tropical depression, then re-strengthens again to a hurricane. I mean, that would be exceptional, but there's a chance of that happening here, which is pretty amazing. If we have a look at the arrival times of the winds, you can see sort of Wednesday evening, that's when the winds will come, not necessarily the centre. That's why the two are sort of out of sync when we have a look at its warnings, warning track and cone images. That's why this is out of sync. So these are sort of the arrival times of the strong winds, but not necessarily the hurricane winds or the eye and the very heavy rainfall that we could be seeing with that. If we move, well, we'll have a look at the peak surge now. So if you look at peak surge, there is a chance of very big surges, quite widespread, 3 to 5 feet, 4 to 6 feet, and then local areas of 6 to 9, 7 to 11, and potentially 9 to 13 feet, which is exceptional for a storm. So that's very high, and this sort of Louisiana coast is quite a low-lying area. So that's why we've got quite a widespread storm surge. And we could be seeing some very significant impacts from that, not only from the wind and the rain, but from this dangerous storm surge. That combined with very heavy rainfall, around 6 to 10 inches, maybe even a bit more than that we're looking at. And even if it moves inland, we'll have a significant amount of moisture, and we'll be dumping a lot of rainfall in the central area of America. As it makes landfall again, as it gets up to Cat 3, maybe Cat 4, that's when it's going to be the strongest with most rainfall, and it's going to be a very significant storm. Flash flooding has been extended, and we've got a very big area of sort of moderate level of flash flooding, and I'm assuming that'll be exacerbated on the coast with the storm surge that we could be seeing. And now we'll have a look at the weatherchannel.com to have a look at live radar images of storm or Hurricane Laura. So as we can see right now, I'm focusing on New Orleans, which is going to be a bit east of landfall. So it's Houston area, sort of eastwards, sort of this gap here. Port Arthur perhaps might be in direct line of landfall on the border of the two states. But as you can see right now, we've got a big area of rain, which is probably is the remnants of ex-tropical storm Marco. Unfortunately, Laura is just here and is off radar at the moment. But if we move into, we'll go into infrared first. So you can see here, that's the remnants of Marco, and you can see this big clump of cloud here with those white colours, which is symbolic of deep convection and high cloud heights. Shows you Hurricane Laura strengthening as it will move up towards the American coastline. So very significant storm incoming. We can also have a look at visible. So you can see right now that is Hurricane Laura. That's the remnants of Marco up there, sort of disbanded now, really. But that's there, and you can sort of start to see potentially where the eye would start to form with this hurricane. So it's a very dangerous scenario for many of you down in this sort of Gulf of Mexico area. Regardless if you're in the exact track of it, it's still going to have some very significant impacts even on the outer bands of the storm. So make sure you keep up to date not only with my channel but with your local forecasters and national forecasts, etc. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again probably for tomorrow for another update.